TV, and tonight I am joined by Father Christmas, the TikTok Viking, Alred, all the way from Norway, who's going to be a very busy man in the next 7 days. And we've got young Ben, who's basically making sure he's got energy because he's on the Pepsi Max. So making sure he doesn't run out of energy, which is really good. And this is what the last month. It's the last match before Christmas. So it's Friday night, and it's this time next week. Christmas will have been and gone again. But tonight we are going to discuss the preview of Liverpool versus Tottenham Hotspur, and we're also going to discuss the injury updates from Arne Slot's press conference this morning, and then a couple of questions also which are going to become topics. Who's under more pressure, Thomas Frank or Arne Slot? And the last topic of the evening, which I think is an interesting one: should Liverpool bring Harvey Elliott back to the AXA? But before we move on, I'd like you to like, subscribe, share it with your family, share it with your friends, tell them all about All Red TV, and also the big Norwegian following we've got going over there. And obviously, the knowledgeable guys that we've got on this stream. 2 of them can't make it tonight because obviously they're Christmas shopping because they've got families to see to. So we've just got Alred and myself and Ben. So we're going to crack on tonight with the preview of the Tottenham game. I'm going to let Alred start tonight's agenda off with Arne Slot's press conference and what you saw of it, and not actually what you made of what he said, and how you think things are going, considering that we've played 5 games now in all competitions and we're unbeaten.
Yeah, I think we're starting to get a little bit of momentum when it comes to results, and that's what we've needed. I think what I take back from the press conference most is the fact that the injuries are not looking that serious when it comes to Dominic Szoboszlai and Gomez. It's still a little bit uncertain, but it's a big difference between being uncertain and he's out for the season. There's a big difference there. Also, Frimpong is coming back, so he's going to be available fairly soon. Bradley is back from suspension, and I think if we get a good result tomorrow, I think we can really start looking forward to the rest of this year and the start of next year. And hopefully, if we get a good result tomorrow, the stupid reporters can stop talking about and asking questions about Salah, who's away on AFCON. He's at AFCON. He's over there. We have to focus on ourselves right now.
Yeah. Ben, your thoughts on the up and coming game tomorrow, and what you made of Arne Slot's press conference and how things are in general at the moment?
Well, I expect Liverpool to win tomorrow because we are going to 3-point lane after all. And Tottenham's home record is abysmal, and we have a good record at that stadium, so I do reckon we'll win. Based on the press conference, like Harold said, it's positive on the injury front. That's always nice, especially with a lot of hard games coming. Sobo should be available, although I wouldn't play him because I don't want to risk him considering he's our best player this season. You don't want to potentially ruin his or make the injury worse than it might be is right now. Yeah.
But isn't it good, Ben, to use him tomorrow? If it's 70-30, he's fit 70-30. Isn't it better to use him tomorrow than at home against Wolves, which is on paper an easier game?
I don't mind when you use him, but at some point you have got to hold him back onto the bench for a game or maybe 2, just let him rest with Arsenal in mind. Because I look at these next 4 games, is it? Tottenham, Wolves, Leeds, Fulham. I look at those games as I see 12 points, generally speaking.
Yeah, but I personally would have, if we can choose, I would personally rest him against Wolves instead of tomorrow.
Maybe, like I said, it doesn't really matter when we do it as long as we do it. Just got to protect him really, wrap him in bubble wrap.
Yeah,
I think when you look at the depth of the squad that we've got, I think regardless of Szoboszlai, yeah, he turned his ankle, so I mean he's training today apparently. I mean, going off what Arne Slot said, he said that he's going to assess him today, and hopefully things will be all right. So I think if he comes through the training, if he's come through the training session today, it wouldn't surprise me if he started tomorrow night. But if he wasn't to start, Ben, who would you play in his place?
I think it'd be Jones, Gravenberg, McAllister, and then maybe switch up a bit. I don't know, but that's like you said, the depth though, because we don't really have any other options.
Well, we've got one option, but he won't use him. Sadly, Chiesa won't get even looked at. You know, and that you could do a stream on that on its own on Federico Chiesa. I think tomorrow Spurs. Yeah, we've got a good record there, like you just said. There, we've won 5, we've drawn 1 and lost 1 in the last 7 games. So, and the Spurs, they're a bit of a funny team for me this season. Home and away, they're blowing a little bit hot and cold. And we've got a good record at 3-point lane, as I like call it. But and it's a strange ground to go to. But I think Thomas Frank he's coming in for a bit of stick now because of the way they're performing, and obviously he plays a different system to what Ange did and the previous managers. So I think there's similarities between Thomas Frank and Arne Slot in the players adapting to what they want their managers to do. But I think Liverpool tomorrow, I'm hoping he sticks with the formation he's used over the last 2 games. He doesn't switch back to the 4-3-3 because I'm a bit worried that if he did, we might revert back to type. What's your thoughts?
I don't see us reverting back to 4-3-3. As long as the results and the performances are like they have been in the last 2 games, I see no reason for that at all. Especially now that we don't have a right winger. Salah's away and Chiesa isn't an option. So for me, that would be very, very strange. I think Frank. I don't think he's under any real pressure just yet. He's new to the job. Levy isn't there anymore. The half-cocked bastard who just made decisions on a whim. He's not there, so I think the new owners maybe will give him a little bit more time to adjust and adapt. I mean, we would have done that to Slot when he came as well, because there is a new manager after someone else, so you have to give him time. You can't kick him out, or he's inherited a poorly squad than we and Slot did, and he hasn't done that much changes either. So I don't think he's under any real pressure as far.
I watched something this morning, obviously because it was related to Liverpool Tottenham. I watched it on YouTube actually, and a well-known Tottenham fan, she's not got much patience for Thomas Frank at the moment. It's wearing extremely thin, which I find a bit baffling because I think not only Thomas Frank, I think Arne Slot as well. I just think this season has been really, really weird. It's the results don't justify the league positions, because if you look at the league table, it's the only way I can explain it it's balmy for me. I mean, they've asked the question tonight on Sky. Are Aston Villa in a shout of the title race? Now, apparently Paul Merson said no. Well, if they've as much chance as what Liverpool have got, if you look at what they're doing, I mean, they've gone what? Are they the 6 unbeaten in every competition? And I think their manager doesn't get the credit he should get, Unai Emery, to be fair. But looking at Liverpool, I think when you said we've not got a right winger, would you not class Frimpong as a right winger, or would you class him as a right back? Oh,
Well, he can play both. His intended role may be kind of a winger later on in stage, but he's back from injury as well, so I don't think he's going to play 90 minutes as a right winger. I kind of lost what I was thinking about before you asked me that question.
okay. I can switch
So
to Ben while you get it back.
Yeah.
Ben, you thought so? Right, Frimpong. Would you class him as a winger or a right back? And what do you think his best position is?
Right wing back. He's a mix of. We saw how we played for Leverkusen when he was there under Alonso. He played as a wing back, and he thrived. So he's neither of those, but he can play there in those positions. But doesn't mean he's a right winger or a right back, because he doesn't suit either of them roles, in my opinion.
Do you rate him?
A little bit. There's better players out there, but he's good, but he's not the best.
I was surprised when we signed him, to be honest with you.
I wasn't, because I think that was the signing we made for Wirtz. I've said this a long time now. We signed Frimpong, so then Wirtz had a friend, so then we could convince him to say no to Bayern and City.
Come on, you think that?
Yeah. Why do you think it got done so quickly? The moment the Bundesliga season ended, that deal was done. You think we do that for a signing for anything else? And it came out at the same time that we were interested in Wirtz and all that, and then a week later it comes out that Wirtz prefers Liverpool over Bayern.
I'm not saying that it's a good thing to have a friend when you come to a new club. I'm not saying that, but you have to remember we lost Trent this summer. We needed someone at right back. It's just like it's not like we, you know, he's not a bad player.
No, said he was, but I don't think we ever really signed Frimpong with the intention of playing him solely as a right back. Bradley is the main right back. Frimpong just came in to be the utility player because obviously Chiesa couldn't buy trust from Slot if he had £1 million.
Yeah, but that means there was a plan behind it and an intention, not just to have a friend. And I think maybe I can agree with you in one thing, that he maybe was bought as a backup for Bradley and Salah. Like let's see where you fit in the best. But I don't think any club buys a player just, to have a friend. I think that will be a total waste of money and very unlike FSG. Sorry.
35 million though. You could easily sell him for more than that if Saudi come in. That's another thing I see. Easy profit is Saudi. Come on.
Yeah, I don't think we're that cynical. I'm sorry. I think he may not have been bought as a starter, but he's bought as a competitor to Bradley and what do you call a substitute for when resting Salah or AFCON Salah or whatever you want to call it.
Well, Connor's back in training as well, so hopefully he might be fit for tomorrow.
Yeah, he was just suspended, wasn't he?
Yeah. So hopefully he'll be back for tomorrow. And apparently Joe Gomez is not going to be available for about 3 weeks.
Is it 3 weeks? Yeah,
because he said in his press conference, Arne Slot said he won't be available for this weekend and next weekend. So that's 2 weeks gone. So you can say 3 games from now, you're looking at Joe Gomez being available again.
Yeah, but his injury is less damaging now since Bradley is back and Frimpong. It's not. I'm not saying I have any issues with Gomez. I mean, he played very well the games he's played now. So that way it's sad, but we're in a better position to handle this injury now than we were 3 weeks ago.
Unless we got the 5 games out of Gomez before he had his annual 3 months out.
Yeah. But
hopefully he's back for Barnsley though. So that'll be a good game to sell him back in.
Yeah.
FA Cup, yeah. Possibly, yeah. Fair point. And also, Virgil van Dijk's come out in support of Konate, and he's given him his backing, and he said he knows he's not been playing as well as he can, and he's got everybody's support, and he's going to do everything to put it right. Now, whether that happens remains to be seen. But yeah, I mean, he's come out and backed his centre half partner, but I think he should be backing the rest of the lads as well, not just picking who he wants to pick. For me, Virgil, I think he's the leader of the group, he's the leader of the club. He's got to basically he's the poster boy at the moment, isn't he? I think.
You've got to remember like which players on our team are getting like kind of picked out and like, oh, this week or this season you're going to be the main target for us. Konate has been that, and I mean, whilst he hasn't been good by his standards, I do think some of the media talk on him has been very unfair, and that's why Van Dijk's had to come out and back him. You know, like, stop talking about him recklessly. This is a good player, you're talking about a good person, and you don't know what you're on about.
Well, Arne Slot mentioned Konate again this morning in his press conference because he said, if you look at the recent games where we've lost, Konate has been at the crime scene too often. Well, as a centre half, are you not supposed to be there? Is that not your job?
Yeah, but you're trying to prevent a crime scene.
Exactly, but he wasn't.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about performance. These players are living in having a job that is performance based, whether they like it or not. And when you make, a mistake, everybody makes a mistake. But when you make a mistake every game, and that leads to a goal every game, I don't really care if you're a good person or a good player. I mean, because you are a good player, because you are there. And I'm not saying Konate is a bad person at all either, but the point is you will get the spotlight on you when you give away a goal every game.
Yeah,
it's like Nunes had the same thing. Everybody here in this stream loves Nunes, but the point is he couldn't hit the barn door with his life at stake.
no.
So and that's the problem. When you can't do the job you've been set to do, someone will tell you.
And there's another point as well, which was interesting in Arne Slot's press conference, because he was talking about Konate, and then one of the journalists asked him about Hugo Ekitike and his performances, and he said, well, when you look at when he came, and I sat down and I spoke to him, I didn't talk to him about his offensive duties. I was talking to him about his defensive duties. But he only wanted to discuss his attacking side of the game, not his defensive side. But he's coming round to it more now. But I think since Ekitike got that red card and he's come back, he's now started to look the part again. And for me, he has to be the first name on the team sheet before anybody else. And then
after Dominic.
Well, no, he's the first name for me. Ekitike first, and then Dominic if you want. I mean, for me, you strike as he's your most important player, isn't he? Because he's the one who puts the ball in the onion bag, as we say. And if you look at what we paid for him, not a lot really for a number 9. So for me, I just think he really, really does look the part now. And he's the only one out of the 7 signings we've made what's actually shown his value at the moment. Kirkes, he's performed okay at last 2 games. I'm not going to speak too much on Isak because he's not done nothing for me. He's not shown anything. And apparently he's come out and said himself he's going to try his best to get back to what he was before he came to Liverpool. Well, rightly so. We paid 130 million quid for you, lad. That's your job to get back to being the best. So, but I just don't think he's ready. I don't know
I
what you
don't think
think.
it's ready either, but I have no doubt he will be the Isaac we know. And I think what I wanted to talk about earlier that I forgot was that we have now had players like Virgil and everybody else come out and say, well, we know we're not performing, we know this, we know that. And that's like, okay, I understand, but when you come out 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times and say the same thing, you're not a football player or a politician. It's what you do that makes a difference if we believe you. I mean, the words, it doesn't help me if Konate comes out and says, I know I haven't been my best, but I'm trying every day. I know you're trying every day, but you still can't get there. Actions speaks louder than words. And for a very long time now, not now the last 4 or 5 games, but before that, it was a lot of words and no action. And that's an issue for me because I don't care what you say, I care what you do.
What? Okay, I'm going to ask Ben this question first. Then, staying on Konate because it's just come to me. So, just going off what Alred said, what do you think the root cause was or is the problem with Konate this season?
You could say it's a lot of things. His contract, the lack of a structure and defensively, his lack of ability on the ball has been exposed like never before. I said at the start of the season that him and Bradley is a major no-go for a defensive right-hand side.
Yeah.
It's like a black hole in build-up. Neither of them are good progressively. Bradley, they're both decent when it comes to defending and showing some passion and talking, but neither of them are good at progressing like Trent was or like Van Dijk is. That's the problem. He's got, so you can't like just point out to his contract or like the team because there's so many things going on and off the pitch for Konate and the entire team. It's the same thing. You could say the same for Kirkus. Like he wasn't performing initially because he wasn't being played properly.
Konate, there's one bit you missed out there. I think the biggest issue with Konate was the fact that he had his head turned by Real Madrid and he was expecting to sign for them in the summer. And because the house of cards has collapsed around his ears and now he knows that he's not going to go to Spain, he's either going to have to sign a new contract and stay with Liverpool or move elsewhere. I think that's been the biggest problem to his game this season because his mind wasn't on the job. But in defence to Arne Slot, he didn't have anybody else he could put in there because Gomez, Cinderella, we know what's happened with Joe Gomez again. He's injured again, and obviously baby Virgil, he's out for the year. So Arne Slot's hands were tied. I think it's absolutely, and I'm not talking transfers, but I just think it's absolutely crucial that they bring a centre back in. But what I will say on this is, I'm not expecting Liverpool to sign anybody next month. That's what I honestly think. I'm not building my hopes up because I've been here before, and I've seen what we do in January before. So if we do, great, and if we don't, okay. It's not my decision.
I can make a counterpoint because earlier, not too long ago, it's like an hour and a half ago, it was reported by Mark Douglas, who's a very reliable journalist for Bournemouth and all that Man United were the favourites for Semenyo. And the only reason for that is because Liverpool aren't going to go all out like people thought they were. Instead, Liverpool are going to focus in January on a centre-back with Mark Gahey top of the list. So maybe something
I
to get done in January. But
I
like,
I, I, I agree with Ben and you, Craig, that I think we need a centre back, and I think we usually don't do very much business in January. But this is a special occasion. You know, I like Baby Virgil is out for the season. The contract is not settled when it comes to Konate, and we need one. And we've always wanted Gehi, so in his contract situation, that's why I think that may happen in the summer. But I want to come back to what Ben also said about the right-hand side in our defense is a black hole when it comes to offensive input. And I know the modern football have changed a lot, and everybody has suddenly have to be Andrea Pirlo. And after living with Trent as a non-existing defender for 3.5 years or something. Okay, let someone else have the crosses. Let someone else do the offensive contributions. We need to keep the ball out of our own net. So I want defensive good structure, and I mean look at I mean you can't have a player in defense or attack and be the same quality. You need different quality. And Trent, for instance, he the last year or so he didn't take free kicks anymore. He didn't take corners anymore. He was substituted, which was a big part of his assists and points. So I don't care if Bradley isn't a 15 assists player. That as long as he prevents 15 goals, that's about the same.
what I was saying is, like, in terms of like on-ball progression, like it's not that he can't cross, because I think Bradley can cross and he's a good attacking player, but like it's in the build-up. You know, like when you're building up from the back.
Yeah.
Bradley can't do that, and it's not a bad thing. Not many players are good at it, but not being able to build out from the back has been one of our biggest enemies this season, because we try to do it, and then one of them two or someone else gives the ball away, and we end up having to defend a dangerous counter attack. That's why I think a lot of our goals, or that's what's caused a lot of our goals and problems this season, the lack of ability to play from the back. Which is
but we've had periods where we have the same issue as well, because we usually had the ball between either Ollie or Virgil van Dijk, and they put a pass into where Gravenberg was in a defensive midfielder. But we gave the ball to a player that was man-marked, and they won the ball in half a second. And the point is, that's not quality. That's bad decision-making, and that's something different. I feel often that we wait too long to give the to pass the ball in the build-up, which means the opponent get a chance to close us down. That makes it harder for ourselves. If we had a little bit more pace on the ball, a little bit more movement, even Bradley could do a good build-up, in my opinion.
That's kind of the point, though. I'm trying. Like, I agree as well, but it's kind of the point I'm trying to make, because like these aren't progressive players, like passing wise. Teams know that, and they target these players or leave them wide open, because what's Konate going to do? Like, if you remember the City game, when City players were just looking at Van Dijk and like, what are you going to do, idiot? You're just going to give us the ball anyway.
But the reason why they're targeting these players is because the reason why they can do it is because there is no movement, there is no players to mark. So when either it's Ali or Virgil van Dijk or Konate or Bradley or Kirkes or Robertson or whoever it is have the ball to play it forward to do a build-up. If the midfield and the forwards are standing there and picking their noses and not moving into spaces, it is very easy to close them down. And that's what's the problem. It's the movement and availability for the players to pass to.
I can't disagree with anything either of you have said there. I agree 100% on everything you've both said. Before we move on to the next item on the agenda, like and subscribe to All Red TV to make sure that you don't miss any future streams or videos. We're also live on Facebook and YouTube. So if you're watching on Facebook, jump over to YouTube and join us there. Tell your friends, tell your family. Let's grow this red community. The red community is large anyway, but we can also increase it. And the sooner we increase it, the better us three will be happier, and we'll be talking to more people, which is what we want.
Can I make one last point?
Sorry, go on, Ben. No, you're right, Ben. Carry on.
Can I make one last quick point?
Yes.
When you said players aren't moving properly because they aren't being found, that's because like Bradley and Canate haven't got the quality to make those passes. Like how many times have we said that Vert has made a good run and no one's found him? Canate can't do that pass. Bradley can't do that pass. Neither can Gravenberg.
Right,
yeah, but none of the offensive player can see him either, and that's the point. We're not talking about running in the final third. We're talking about
because none of the offensive players get the ball. When the offensive players get the ball, they have to work everything for themselves. Like look at
but the offense. When we're talking about the offensive balls, we're talking about the final third. That's something different. We're talking about when we're around our own box. They're not. Wirtz is not going to run up against 20 box yard line. And my point is, our build up is too slow. That's point one. And point two, everybody is either running away from the ball or everybody is running towards the ball. So that means we don't have any options, and that makes it easier to read. I'm not talking about a Hail Mary 100-yard pass like Trent did, because not every player can do that anyway. You don't have to be Bradley to not be able to do that. But my point is, if you don't have any options long and any options near, you stop and you get pressured and you do a mistake.
Which I agree with, which brings me nicely on to the next point, which is, like I said on the previous stream, it's not about the long ball or the short ball, it's about the right ball. And the problem Liverpool have, we are not playing the right pass at the right time. The decision making within the squad is not right at the moment, which brings me on to the next topic of who's under more pressure tomorrow, Thomas Frank or Arne Slot, because you've got two managers tomorrow who are, and there's no denying it, are under pressure because of the results they've been getting. Thomas Frank has lost, out of his last 6 games, he's only won 1, he's lost 4 and drawn 1. So he's under massive pressure tomorrow. But if you look at both managers and your styles of play, now if you guys were neutral tomorrow, who would you enjoy watching most, Spurs or Liverpool, in terms of style of football?
Liverpool. I've watched Spurs this season as a neutral, and I fell asleep every game. But
do Spurs have a style of play?
Yeah, it's called setting up not to lose.
It's called Spursy. It's called Spursy. Why do you think those shirt emblems are chicken on a basketball? Like I've said before. If you look at it proper, seriously, you have a look at Tottenham's crest, it's a chicken, and the ball's not a football, it's a basketball. I'm telling you, lads. I like Thomas Frank. I don't have anything against him. I just think he's gone into a club which they've no identity in the style of football they play, how they want to play. Even the fan base has no identity. Which is mad when you think that one of the biggest games in English football and one of the biggest derbies is Arsenal Tottenham, but they've no identity. So I think Thomas Frank, I don't think they're going to pull the trigger on him. I think he'd be crazy too. I think Arne Slot is under as much pressure, but I only think the pressure's coming onto Arne Slot because of what he spent in the summer, not because of the situation Liverpool find themselves in.
The Liverpool manager will always be under more pressure than a Tottenham manager. Because at Liverpool, you're expected to deliver success, silverware, honours. You're expected to do the best. You're expected to play good football, and rarely concede, win every game. Whereas at the Tottenham job, top four and a decent cup run, and you satisfy the hierarchy. But as of right now, like if you're going based off results, then Thomas Frank is much more under pressure because Spurs aren't winning, they aren't playing good football, they've not shown any signs of improving, and they've just lost arguably their best, not arguably, convincingly their best midfielder to who's going to be at AFCON for the next month and a half because he plays for Senegal, one of the favourites, Papa Matassar.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think Slot is under any real pressure at all, to be honest. I think there is, but I think there's media pressure and expectations, like Ben kind of said, when it comes, you're a manager of Liverpool, everybody expects you to do, and the expectation hasn't lowered because of what he did last year. But when it comes to
higher.
Yeah, exactly. So the expectations are there, and that way the pressure. But when it comes to losing his job or anything like that, I think the last 2-3 weeks with the Salah saga, I think that's kind of proven his standing. So for me, Slot is safe as houses as far as I'm concerned. I haven't really read that much when it comes to Frank and his situation in Spurs. I agree they are shit at the moment, but they are still Spurs. So and now I remember what I was going to say earlier, and that is, for me, you said, Craig, that this season was a little bit strange and weird and everything.
Yeah.
And for me, the season this year, and this is no taking a piss on any team, but this season reminds me a little bit more about the season when Leicester won. Everybody beats everybody. It's very tight. It's, you can win one and go to second, and then you can lose one and go to 15. It's a very open season in that sense.
Does that mean Arsenal come second again?
Okay.
You know that's going to happen, Ben. It's going to happen. I'm telling you.
But the point is the season, and as long as Spurs or we or whoever it is have a decent chance of maybe getting into top 4 or Europe, mainly for Spurs, I don't think, since Levy left, I don't think he's going to be that much under pressure just yet. But I haven't read all the English papers like you do.
And like you said there, with the league being like it is, when Leicester City won it, if Liverpool win tomorrow night at 5:30,
are you both going to jinx it now?
No, if Liverpool win tomorrow night at 5:30, they go into the top 4. This is how crazy it is.
Yeah,
it's just by me.
And if we lose, we're going to 18th or something.
I'm not even thinking about that because we're playing Spurs.
Yeah, but the point is, everything can happen in this season, this year.
Yeah, and if you look at this game in general, Liverpool Tottenham, it's averaging 4 goals per game.
Liverpool scoring 3 of them.
Sorry?
Liverpool scoring 3 or 4 of them.
Well, we won 5-1 last year.
We beat them 15-5 on aggregate over 4 games, and we lost one of them 1-0.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm hearing from you guys now is jinx, 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 jinx.
No,
jinx,
I'm
jinx.
not jinxing anything. The thing is, you can't. It's impossible to predict what's going to happen. I mean, the referees are ruining it for me. VAR is destroying the Premier League. It's too slow. It's too slow. The football we play is too passive and too slow. I don't subscribe to the theory that it's the best league in the world, because if you watch a lot of the Premier League, it's stop, start. It's not fast-flowing football. And there's and today, believe it or not, It's nothing to do with Liverpool, this, by the way, but it's football. Today is the anniversary that Mikel Arteta became Arsenal manager 6 years ago and made his managerial debut away at Everton. And they play Everton this weekend.
Didn't they lose that game as well?
Sorry?
Didn't they lose that game? I don't know.
Yeah, they did.
But just I want to have it on tape for everybody's listening, either live or in anything else. If we lose tomorrow because of all you two guys jinxes, I'm going to put myself in a fucking rowboat, go over the North Sea, and slap you both silly. I mean, one thing is that Ben.
Ready and waiting.
Yeah, but one thing is Ben, who's young and unexperienced, being not into the jinxing part. But you, Craig, you should know better.
No, I just think Liverpool they've got to. They've lost the way a little bit this season. They lost their identity, and they weren't performing how they should have been. And yeah, there was a lot of negativity about them. People were saying, as Arne Slot lost the dressing room, have the players turned against him? But if you look at the last 3 games, away at Inter Milan, which was an outstanding performance. That for me, that was a Liverpool performance of the late 70s, 80s. That night, it was brilliant. And for me, since that night, it's as if the pennies dropped and they've gone, hang on a minute, we can do something this season. It's not over and done with yet. I mean, I read something yesterday. There's one fan channel. I'm not going to mention him because he gets enough publicity, but he still believes Liverpool can win the league because of how the results are going in the league, because everybody's beating one another. And our fixtures look favourable, but we've been here before, so I just think we take it one game at a time.
In the earlier days, Craig, we used to say we don't look at the table until after Christmas, and I think that's a good rule of thumb this year as well. Things start to settle after time, and after you have the holiday program, then you can start looking at things. Before that, it's just waste.
Yeah, but the league doesn't really start till after Christmas.
Sorry, Ben?
After Christmas, the pretenders slip away and the real challengers rise.
Yeah, exactly.
That brings you back to Arsenal, son away.
Yeah.
I'd bring something up as well about what Harold said about like Slot's job. In a way, like he said something about how when Salah came out and spoke, the moment the club said that they were completely behind Arne Slot was the moment I knew that nothing Slot did this season would get him sacked. Slot could lose the next 4 games and he won't get sacked because of the Salah thing. He has a reason for anything. So if we lose games, you can say, "Oh well, the squad's distracted by the Salah stuff," which I wouldn't accept, by the way, because I mean it's been 3 weeks now and the guy's at AFCON. So if that's an excuse, then he should be sacked because it's poor mentality. But
I still think if we were 15 points behind top 4 and closing on the relegation battle, I think he would have been an option to get sacked. But as we've touched upon, both of us or all 3 of us, is that it's open. Everybody can beat everybody, and as long as we're in an earshot of anything, well, either it's in the cups or in the league, I don't see any reason to fire him. And one thing is firing him, and another thing is getting the right replacement as well. And I don't think Slot will lose the dressing room. That's probably why there's so many Dutch people there, Ben.
And the thing is as well, for a player, and it's not whichever way you look at it, however you dress it up, you could say it's like putting lipstick on a pig. For a player to come out and try and get your manager sacked at Liverpool FC is absolutely despicable. That's the lowest of the low for me. I mean, you lose a lot of credibility for me there because that's never happened in our history. And the thing is, if you two said to me now, this is the situation. We've got a player who's on 400 grand a week. and he's been told he's not going to be an automatic starter anymore. What would you do? My answer would be, rather than pay somebody 400 grand a week and have him sat on the bench, I'd sell him. That's my answer. I'm saving myself 400 grand a week, and I can invest that elsewhere. That's my answer to that situation. Because I think
Yeah, but
Liverpool now, it wouldn't surprise me if we absolutely scare the crap out of everybody now, because the problem we had is not around at the minute. So it wouldn't surprise me if you actually saw Liverpool show the true colours tomorrow going forward. It wouldn't surprise me one bit.
But it wouldn't surprise me that he comes back as well and plays like his old Salah again as well, because he showed that in the last game. So it's a win-win for all of us, I think, if that happens. If not, he'll get sold and we get money. But when it comes to... Sorry, Ben?
We get Bradley Barcola, and I'm a very happy man.
You like Barcola, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
He's not that
I'll
good.
take it. Do you know who our current left winger there is? Yeah, I'll give you a name. CG. He's miles better than Cody Gakpo.
Luis
Yeah,
Diaz
but you mean everybody's better than Cody Gakpo?
And that'd be true.
Your truth.
Is that because he's Dutch?
No, because he's well, that's one of the reasons, but yeah.
Right, so... No, go on, Ben. You were going to say something then.
Predictable, slow, 6'4", but can't use his height. Greedy.
You remember Diaz that we sold? He was also fairly predictable. He did also the same thing.
Yeah, but he was also a demon in pressing. He helped us so much off the ball.
But if we're talking about the way to defend against him, he was a little bit quicker, but he did also the same thing. And maybe that's not the player. Maybe that is the role you've been given by the coach in the system.
Well, then that's the problem with the coach again. But
but he's Dutch, so but the point is, we did the same when we had Klopp. We had inverted wingers. They went in. They didn't go around. They should go in and shoot with a good leg. So that's nothing new in Liverpool either.
We had Sadio Mane back then.
Yeah, but the point is, the role, the movement, and the way you're supposed to conduct yourself in the final third is the same under two different coaches, two different nationalities. And I agree, Mane is a better player than Gakpo, but it's still a team sport. This is, so it's not cross country skiing with one guy fucks up alone. It is, it's giving. Like Salah, who has three players on him all the time. If you have someone to go overlap, he gets more room. So it is a chess piece. This.
Do you want to know why Salah has so many defenders all over him? It's because the opposition defense doesn't have to worry about the left winger.
Yeah.
Imagine if we had Barcola and Salah, you cannot just go and say, "Oh, let's all mark Salah," because then you're leaving an elite creator like Barcola wide open.
Yeah, but we still had the same issue last year when Diaz was here. There were more defenders on Salah than there was on Diaz. Yeah, that's why Diaz got some goals, because they were still over there. The point is, it's more complex than you kind of make it out to be. That is why Mane and Salah and Bobby worked so very well, because we had two extremely good players on each wing. So it made them hard, like you said, made it difficult to triple mark both players, but you don't have enough players to it. But when we have become very, last year we were very right-minded. It was Trent and Salah, Trent and Salah, Trent and Salah, Trent with the passes and Salah with the run-ins. It was very predictable.
just picking up on what you both said there, and you're right. And on the predictability of it is where Ben just said like Salah always had three players on him because we didn't have anybody on the left wing. Well, Mo Salah's predictable. Mo Salah's been predictable for 8 years.
Mm.
You know what he's going to do. He's gonna beat his man if he can. He's going to cut inside. He's going to get it on his left peg. Bang. If that's not
Salah.
predictable, if that's not predictability, 250 goals, 116 assists. If that's not predictability, then I don't know what is.
Mo Salah's the Iron Robin kind of predictability, the good kind of predictability. You know what he's going to do, but there ain't a damn thing you can do to stop him.
No, you
unless
can't
mark
stop
him.
it.
But
You can't stop it. The only difference now with Mo Salah is he can't beat a man now. He's lost the yard of pace.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. That's
And that's the difference. Like,
yeah.
If you take Isaac, for instance, who is a tall. If you take a target man, like the old school target man, when they get older, they don't lose their height.
No.
No, if you still hit the ball at the right place at the right time, the player will still be the same height. Salah or Messi or any of these technical players will lose the touch, they will lose the pace in a different way. So you kind of need both.
I think with Isak, I think the squad or the lads who obviously who are there, they've got to get used to how he plays. But he's also got to get used to how Liverpool's style of football is. He's not at Newcastle anymore. He's not working with Eddie Howe. It's a completely different formation, set of rules, different mindset now. So he's got to forget what he was doing. He's got to reprogram himself. And I think that's what Mo Salah's got to do. Mo Salah's got to adapt his game. In his head, he's still a yard quicker than the player who he's up against, but his legs have not got it. So he's got to change his game. So they're right, okay, I've lost a yard of pace, but I can still think quicker than him, and I can lay it off and go and maybe get it back. I don't know. I just think he's got to adapt his game. If Mo Salah did that, you might see not the old Salah of old, but something like he should be. But
where are you going, Ben?
are you okay there, Ben? But yeah, I thought I was going to reach out and grab you then for a minute. Where's he going?
But I have to say one thing about Salah, which we weren't going to talk about today, is that I think it was Ben before the last game who said that Ben would do well up front with Ekitike. And when he came on,
Ben would do well with Ekitike. Yeah, you said Ben would do well with Ekitike.
No, I mean, I think I have to start drinking heavily for that to happen. But Salah, yeah, Salah, and you had right, you were right, Ben. He did a good job as a forward, like he did. So
I've only been saying that for 2 years.
Yeah, you got lucky about that one.
Okay, guys. So what I want to do now is, before I ask you for your starting 11s and your match predictions for tomorrow, don't forget, everybody, like, subscribe, move over to our TV, because you won't regret it. We won't regret it, and we'll make sure that you'll love everything we do. So,
I want to start listening to Aaron's predictions.
So, who's your starting 11, Harold? And what's your score prediction?
Yeah, I don't know why you're asking that.
But I'm putting you in the hot seat.
Yeah, you can do all you want, but it ain't gonna help. I'm not new to this. I think I posted it on my TikTok as well.
I saw it, yeah.
I think I'm going to go with Alisson in goal, and I'm going to go with Kirkis, Van Dijk, Konate, and Bradley in defense. It's going to be Gravenberch, Jones, and Szoboszlai. I hope Szoboszlai is available. If not, I think it's going to be Maka, because we don't have any real chances there. I think it's going to be Wirtz right behind Ekitike and Isaac. That's what I would like to see. It's not very exciting, but I would like to see that. I think that's about. If we're going to get Isaac to work in this new system or new formation, he has to play with Ekitike so they can figure things out together.
Yeah.
So it is, even though it doesn't click in the first 2, 3, 4, 5 games, they need to build a relationship, and that just happens over time.
Yep. Ben?
Score prediction, I hope we win.
Yeah. You hope we win. Okay, I'll take that. Ben, your 11 and your score prediction.
I'm going to go with the same 11 as Harold because,
Okay.
there's not much options. I
No.
would say if you wanted to go 4-3-3, we could try that, but there's more chance of a lottery win for me than Chiesa getting a start. So, and then I'm going to go 4-1 Liverpool.
4-1. Cool. I agree with the formation because I don't think Arne Slot's got any options really, or much choice in which he could rotate. So I agree with the 11 that you both picked, and I will pick that anyhow. I think that's the strongest 11 he can put out, to be fair to Arne Slot, and I think we'll win tomorrow 3-0 comfortably. I don't really see any issues. Spurs. I expect Spurs to do as they always do. But yeah, 3 points, and we're going to be looking healthy going into Christmas, which will be absolutely wonderful. So I just want to touch on very quickly the last thing which came up for me today. I was thinking because I read a piece on it, and apparently Liverpool in talks with Aston Villa. Aston Villa don't want to sign Harvey. It's looking like they want to send him back. So my question to you both is, would you take Harvey Elliott back at the AXA, or would you just loan him out somewhere else? Because I think, for me personally, if he comes back, he's not going to get a game anyhow. So there's no point in bringing him back, because Arne Slot's already proved what he thinks of him.
We can't loan him out because he's played for 2 teams already this season.
And you can only go on 1 loan per season.
Yeah, you can go on several, but he played for us before he went on loan, so he can't play for 3 clubs in one season.
There's like an FA rule, isn't there? Like you can only make 2 loans per season or something like that.
Yeah, but you can go on. We have re-loaned players, but they haven't played for us before the first loan. So we have had players who've gone on loan until January, and then come back and then re-loan them, because then they have played at 2 clubs. He has already played for 2 clubs, so we can't re-loan him out. But I would still have him back, because you have one. I know he's not rated. He's in the same box as Chiesa, but I would still have him back just for the squad depth.
For the numbers.
Sorry?
For the squad numbers, because that's about all he's going to be.
Yeah, but I would rather have him as a desperate. I would rather have him as a desperate option than have to put on the material guy who washes the clothes. You know. I mean, he's still he's a better player than I am, so I would rather have him in there than me.
I hope so.
You know?
Well, I mean, I was going to ask her, not from a Liverpool point of view, from a football aspect, just a general question. But you've completely thrown me off line here with that, because I think Harvey Elliott would be Liverpool's version of Adam Sandler and the Waterboy, wouldn't he? But I think, looking at it from a football point, just football in general, I feel sorry for Harvey Elliott, because he's a much better footballer than the game time he's got at Liverpool and the game time he's got at Villa. I really am surprised that Ryan's not used him as much as what he has.
I think it's just financial. I think it's just financial that they don't have the money to buy him.
It's that, and the fact that it's like I've been saying for the last year, 2 years, Harvey Elliott is not good enough to be in the Premier League as a starter. More as a Premier player at all, I don't think. He's too small
I
to be a
think he's
Prem
a
player.
Championship player at best.
I reckon he'd do very well in somewhere like Serie A or La Liga, where it's slower and less physical.
Yeah, it's no good sending him to Celtic then. That's for sure.
I don't see that. I agree he's not going to be a regular starting player, but look at what Jones has done in the last couple of months.
Jones always had that quality. Jones' biggest issue was keeping hold of the ball for too long.
Yeah, but the point is, it's a young lad. I mean, everybody. If you find the right place, if you find the right system, if you find the right manager, you can be a good player.
Mm.
I'm not saying he's going to start 38 games a season, but I'm saying I like a lot of what I've seen when he's been playing for us.
Yeah, but what player would start 38 games a season? Nobody would.
Van Dijk.
He wouldn't.
Ollie.
He wouldn't.
Van Dijk, he played that. I mean, not 38 literally, but he played 37 last year, so near enough. And that's on top of all the Champions League and FA Cup games he played.
Yeah, but I maybe I rate him a little bit more than you guys. But I as I said, he's not a regular starter, but he should, like Chiesa, have more playing time than he
I
has
agree.
had. And I think he's been very unlucky when it comes to the loan out. He went to the wrong club.
Yeah.
And if it's just performance or just money, I don't know. But there is a combination there that's hurting the player. And it's better for him to come home and maybe play 10 minutes in the FA Cup for us than knowing he's not going to get 1 minute in 6 months at Villa.
Yeah, because I mean, his current situation now, it can't be doing his career any good whatsoever. And mentally, that can't be doing him any good either.
If you're looking at a 6 month training session, like he's going to get at Villa, he can just take that at home.
Yeah, I think he'd be happy back at the AXA, just training with the lads on a regular basis.
Yeah,
and just giving everything he's got, and he just said to Arne Slot, "Okay, if you need me, I'm here, and I won't let you down." Like Chiesa, but apparently something I've read, it's on social media as well, but something I've read, apparently the reason Arne Slot's fell out with Federico Chiesa is because of his performance last season in the FA Cup away at Portsmouth. Plymouth, sorry.
Plymouth. If that is true,
that's the reason he fell out with him.
By the way, sorry.
He could have fell out with anybody that day, couldn't he?
Yeah, literally. That goes back to my point. Like, it's very harsh to only judge Chiesa on that game, because Harvey Elliott himself had a much worse game and literally gave away the match-winning penalty. Luis Diaz.
Nobody of the so-called senior players did a good job in that game.
Nunes, Jota, Diaz, Chiesa, Elliott, and Gomez, but he went off after like 15 seconds.
Yeah,
Cinderella.
So that can't be true. I mean, if you're that vindictive over one performance, where both the player and both the manager have come out in later time and said that he wasn't in shape, but he's looking better now because he had injuries, coming back from injuries, blah 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 blah, and then holding a grudge for over a year. I mean, that is, yeah.
And on that note, guys, I think we'll leave it there. And it's looking like this might be the last stream until after Christmas, unless you two gentlemen want to do one on the Wednesday, or you want to leave it till after Christmas. We will discuss in chat. But from myself, from Harold, from Ben, if we don't see you before then, Have a wonderful Christmas. Have a great holiday. Have a great time. Be merry. Be kind to each other. Look after each other. Don't eat too much. Don't drink too much. And the most important thing is
Eat too
Liverpool.
much. Why not? It's Christmas.
Liverpool win and get 3 points. We climb the table. Everybody's happy. And I've asked for my Christmas present. I've asked for the Premier League title. I don't think I'll get it.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. So, from me, Craig, RTV, from Ben, from Harold, have a great Christmas. Have an even better New Year. Up the Reds, and we'll see you all soon. Take care, guys.
Bye bye.
God bless. Bye bye.